Welcome to Whispers of the Web, where the hidden gems of the web come to life. Join us as we unravel the most fascinating tales, secrets, and discussions from across the web. Every whisper has a story. If you enjoy our journey through the whispers of the web, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the intrigue. Story number 1. I used garlic and onions in a meal when I was strictly asked not to. My stepmother-in-law won't allow my father-in-law to eat anything with garlic or onions, not even garlic powder or onion powder. She claims that it hurts his stomach. So, whenever they're in town and come over for dinner, I refrain from using garlic or onions, which is frustrating because I use those too in just about everything I cook. For a little backstory about my stepmother-in-law's cooking, she makes the blandest food. Once, we went to her Thanksgiving dinner. She cooked the turkey around noon, cut it up, and had it out around 3, but no one was allowed over until 5 p.m. By the time we arrived, the turkey was cold AF and drier than the Sahara Desert. The woman just doesn't know how to make a tasty meal. Anyhow, my father-in-law visited us once without his wife, and I made chicken breast with garlic and onion seasoning, and he loved it. Nothing happened to him after he ate it. He told me that he can eat garlic and onions if they're cooked, but for some reason, when he's around his wife, both of those ingredients are not to be used. They visited before Christmas, and we planned a dinner at my house. My stepmother-in-law made it a point to call me to remind me not to use garlic or onions. She also called my wife to remind me not to use garlic or onions. I was so annoyed that she made it a point to remind us not to use the two ingredients after years of her constantly reminding us. That night, I cooked the chicken breast with sage, rosemary, thyme, garlic, and onion powder. Both my stepmother-in-law and father-in-law loved the meal. In fact, they commented on how juicy the chicken was and how delicious it tasted. It turns out they both like garlic and onions, but for some reason, just have an issue with it. Also, either one of them got sick. I would never have the courage to do something like this to anyone, but this story still made me laugh. It would have been so different if either of them were actually allergic to one of those ingredients. Do you think he went too far, or do you think his stepmother-in-law is a little crazy? Story number 2. I've been faking being from the UK for 6 years and it's gone way too far. I'm using a throwaway account because I don't want my friends to find my main account. In 6th grade, my family and I moved to another state because of a new job that my mother had gotten. This was the first time in my life where I would be the new kid, so I wanted to spice it up a little. When I started school the next week and had to introduce myself to the class, I decided to lie and say that I was a transfer student from the UK. I had the British accent and everything. Everybody was interested in being my friend since I was British, and they asked me a lot about how school and life was in the UK. Instead of just giving up the joke then and there, I went home and researched a bunch about the UK and came back the next day and explained everything I had researched, and people actually believed me. My plan was to pull out of the joke after a few days, but eventually I got too far in to actually stop. I sometimes ordered British snacks from online stores and brought them to school for my friends to try. My friends also gave me American snacks, and I had to pretend that I had never tried them before. I'm in 11th grade now, and all my friends and peers from that school still actually think I'm British. I know this isn't as horrible as the other confessions on here, but I'm feeling really guilty about lying about this for so long, and need to get this off my chest. As soon as I get home, I switch back to my normal voice, but sometimes, I even have trouble switching back to my regular voice because of how much I use the British accent. I don't know what to do because I even lied and told my friends that I'm going back to the UK for summer vacation, and they told me to send pics of my family down there when I go. I honestly don't know what to do at this point. I feel bad for lying this long, but I feel like it's been too long to pull out of this. I don't know. Just needed to get this off my chest and maybe some advice. What do you guys think? Should they just keep the accent and hope to never see those people again? Or should they finally give it up and show their friends the real them? I, personally, would be too scared to be shunned after lying for so long, so I would probably keep it up and then move away after graduation. Story number 3. I scammed Temu and now I lost $500,000. Okay, so I thought I was scamming Temu, but now I'm in debt. Not actually, But here's how the story went. I had like $1 in my account, and there was something I really wanted that was $1.89. So I thought, oh, we'll just see what happens. So I bought it and looked at my account, and I still had $1 in my account. I was thinking, that's strange. But didn't think anything of it. Fast forward, I get $10, so I do what any other irresponsible kid does. I spent it as soon as I got it. I bought the items, but still had $11. So I'm thinking it's probably not going through. So I get the package but check my account, and there, staring right back at me, was the crisp digits of 11. So I'm thinking this is an absolute miracle. So I go ballistic, buying stuff I could never imagine affording. Electric guitar and other items. These packages are getting delivered but my money stays. Then one day I go to school absolutely bawling with my Temu accessories. My mom calls me in the middle of class. We just lost $500. I am absolutely crapping bricks. I am so scared. I tried canceling my cool orders but nothing's working. I'm freaking out, my friends are laughing at me, my mom's screaming. It didn't take $500 from my account, it took it from my dearest mother's. When I got home that day I was sworn never to see the light of day again. Moral of the story, don't try scamming Temu. Hey guys, I know about the title, I just needed to make it longer. At least this poster has the luxury to say they were just some dumb kid. Would any of you have done something like this thinking you were just getting a bunch of free stuff? That is definitely something that I'm not sure I would have done. But I was a dumb kid once, so who knows? Story number 4. I can't tell my customers that the espresso they're drinking is actually decaf. This week, I'm training as a barista in a coffee shop so I can get extra hours. I actually really like the job, and while it can be hectic at times, it can be kind of fun. Yesterday, I found out that we ran out of regular espresso beans, which was a problem since most of our drinks needed espresso. At first, I was told to tell customers we were out of it and offer other options. But this made people upset and drove business away. So my boss eventually told me just to use decaf espresso and not tell customers about it. According to my boss, we're completely out of regular espresso and probably won't get any more for a few days due to shipping delays. So to avoid conflict, we have to use our decaf instead. I'm an honest person and it bugs me to keep my mouth shut about it. I even told this to my parents, and they were really upset that I would lie to people about this, and warned me that eventually, someone would figure out the difference. I feel so guilty about it, but at the same time, there's not much I can do. A coffee shop without caffeine is like a bakery that doesn't sell bread and wouldn't look good for my company. But lying is also something that goes against my morals, and I just feel wrong staying quiet. All I can do is add extra espresso and hope it makes it a bit stronger. But it's all I'm able to do. I wonder if this is something other coffee shops do. I've never worked in one before, so I don't know the common problems a coffee shop would deal with or if they would have to make a choice like this. Wow, I feel incredibly bad for this new employee. I, personally, would simply quit and say why. I'm not what you would call a corporate lackey, and I will speak up or quit, or speak up until I'm fired. Honestly, it doesn't matter, as long as bad companies don't get away with poor business practices. Story number 5. I broke one of my bones on purpose to get out of going to school as a kid. When I, 16 male, was 9, I really hated school. I would do anything in my power to get a day off. Fake sick days, faking a high temperature, fake vomit, and so on. I got away with this for so many years, but people were catching on and getting suspicious. We had a trampoline buried in the ground in our yard, and while I was on it one evening I had a thought. If I broke a bone, then I can't go to school for weeks. I was jumping really high, thinking how to do it, and I rotated my leg so I would land on my ankle and it would hit the metal frame and springs. I didn't think it was possible to feel that level of pain, not just my leg, but all through my body. I landed on the side of my ankle and my whole leg literally cracked. I don't know how I didn't do more damage than I did, to be honest. Spent the whole night in hospital, and to my delight I was put in a full leg cast, thigh to ankle, and sent home the next evening. Funnily enough, it didn't even give me much time from school. I had 1 week of glorious breakfast in bed, video games, and terrible daytime TV, And then I had to use crutches for weeks on end at school with people constantly trying to draw on my cast. I feel bad about this. I've never confessed, and I don't think I can now after so many years. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to blatantly hurt myself for this kind of thing. I'm almost worried for myself. I was, and still might be, a little bit psychotic. Edit. People who are genuinely concerned for my welfare, I'm okay. I ended up being homeschooled about a year after this. I just had some awful teachers and the school actually ended up being shut down a while after I left. I am seeking therapy for non-related issues, however. Thank you for your concerns. This actually sounds like this could be some sort of attention-seeking behavior. I'm glad this poster is in therapy, but I think they should probably bring this up and see if their therapist has anything to say about their traumatic past. Have any of you ever done anything to purposely injure yourself? And if so, what happened? I have actually done something to purposely injure myself. When I was 11, I really wanted a broken bone for some reason. Because of therapy, I now know that it is because I had a traumatic childhood and I was desperate for attention and affection. That was all I could think of to get what I didn't know I was craving. I was very sheltered, so I was a pretty dumb kid. Anyway, when I was 11 years old, I sat on the top step of my staircase and purposely fell forward down the stairs. It was a short staircase, so I only ended up breaking 2 fingers in my non-dominant hand, but I had succeeded. Don't worry, I have a regular therapist, and I have brought this up with her. Thank you for joining us for today's journey through the whispers of the web. Share your thoughts and suggestions for our next adventure. If you're not yet a part of our whispering community, click the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications to never miss out on another story. Join us next time as we uncover another enthralling tale from the web. Until our next whisper.